I wasn't uploading, I was still getting paid. And honestly, that's why YouTube makes the most sense to me as a platform to focus on. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Love Marbie, where we share about all things home, heart, and hosting. If you're new here, I'm Michelle Marbie Davies, and just imagine if Oprah and Martha Stewart had a baby, I would basically be the end result, because I love rich, deep conversations, but I also love hosting and entertaining and elevating my home, and I share about that across all my platforms. Today, we are going to have a heart conversation. If you are someone who wants to get monetized on YouTube, or you're just trying to figure out where to invest your energy when it comes to the different social media platforms, we are going to get into it today. It's going to be short and sweet, but I was really thinking, like literally, even whilst I wasn't uploading across YouTube, I was still getting paid. For most of December and January, I haven't been uploading. Now, is the amount lower than the times when I was consistently uploading? Yes, but it is a platform that pays, and it pays good, decent money depending on your niche and your CPM, RPM, and all of that kind of fun stuff. In this video, I'm going to share some tips with you about how to get monetized as quickly as possible. In another video I've uploaded, I shared tips around generally being a better creator across the board, but specifically focused on YouTube, because I got monetized quicker than I thought I would, and I just gained a truckload more followers than I thought I would. So definitely check out that video for some more comprehensive tips. But in this video, let's talk about how to get monetized on YouTube, or some of the best practices that I think you can adopt that will get you there much faster. Now, I know on the internet at the moment, a lot of people are focusing on telling you to get into shorts, upload shorts. I am not giving you that advice. You can do it, but I feel like when it comes to getting, the amount of plays you need to and your watch time to get monetized, it's just going to take a lot longer on there. And I would rather you focus and honing your skills on creating long form content that will pay off in the long run for years and years to come, than focusing on trying to catch people's attention very quickly when it comes to shorts. And for me, that's what shorts is. It's like you need to catch their attention very quickly, and the volume of views you need to get in order to make that sustainable as a way to get paid, it just doesn't make sense to me. If that's your jam, cool, go ahead. But this is for the girlies and the guys who want to focus on long form content. The first tip is to decide on 1 to 3 core topics of interest. Now, I know people will say online, you are the niche, create content just focused on you. You can take that school of thought, but for me, I know with the creators that I follow, I remember them more. There's more brand recognition. I'm more likely to come back to them if I know specifically what they are focused on. If we're going to keep it a buck, the people that you follow kind of mindlessly, or you kind of engage with their content even though there's no specific niche, they either have to have incredible personalities, and if you have that, cool, make it work for you, very interesting lives, or a lot of money to kind of flaunt in your face. Like, I'm talking about, like the content where it's very aspirational. You're watching it because there's a part of you that's like, oh, what would I need to do to kind of get there, or enjoy that, or that must be nice for them. If that is not you, if you are not part of those 3 categories, you need to pick 3 topics of interest, right? This will help provide structure for you. And when you are beginning and when you're trying to grow your audience, everybody can't be wrong. If they keep telling you you need to have topics of interest, key topics that people can come to you for, just know that there must be some truth there somehow, right? This doesn't need to be something that you stick to for 5, 10 years. You can change your mind at some point, but give people something to latch onto in the first place. So decide on 1 to 3 topics of interest. Now, the key thing to bear in mind here when it comes to monetization is that the popularity and the reach of the topic will affect the pace of your monetization. If it's something that's interesting to a wide range of people, or it's a very popular topic, then people will more likely gravitate towards your videos, and that will speed up the pace of your monetization. But decide on 1 to 3 key topics that you are knowledgeable about, that you are interested in. Even if you're not an expert in them yet, you are interested about learning about those topics, right? So first tip, decide on 1 to 3 topics of interest. Don't come on here talking about you are the niche. Nobody really cares. Like, people say it and it sounds harsh. Nobody cares about you and your vlogs initially, unless you have an amazing personality, a very, very, very interesting life, and also you're kind of creating the aspirational content and people just want to gawk at what you have. Tip number 2 to help you get monetized is to list out everything you know about each topic. I loved this video that I saw from Chris Do. I will try to link it in the description where he broke this down. Now you need to sit and list every single thing you know. If you are going to focus on makeup, what do you know about makeup? List every single thing that comes to mind. If you are great when it comes to recipes or saving time in the kitchen or saving mom's time when it comes to meal prep for their families, list every single thing you know. It might sound like, you know, when you think about it that you don't know much, but sometimes even just observe yourself while you are doing things. A great hack for me is to write everything down, or the ideas that come to mind when I'm doing things. Sometimes, let's say like you create content around food, you may not pay attention to the things you do in the kitchen that are unique to you or that could help other people. So sometimes you just need to have a notepad and pen, or, you know, on your notes app, just have a note open for ideas, knowledge that you have. Do you have mise en place when you are cooking in the kitchen? Some people don't know that that's a helpful thing to do. Do you have tips when it comes to organizing your home? How do you organize your home? What do you know about organizing your home? And even if it's things that you've learned over the years from studying and observing other people, list all those things out. If you are an expert in creating pancakes or brunch at home, what do you know that helps you to achieve that result? List everything out. Have a bank of knowledge and information that you can refer to quickly. The key thing here is you need to think from the frame of mind about what it is that will actually help people. What interesting things do you know that will help people? Which leads me on to tip number 3. You need to focus on sharing videos that provide people insight and information. It is not about you. I don't care what platform you're on, Instagram, TikTok, Rednote, Pinterest. The focus needs to be on providing people with knowledge, insight, and information, things that you've learned over the years that will help them. If you help people, you will help yourself. Ultimately, you can decide how you want to approach this, how you want to package this, but at the end of the day, that must be the ultimate goal. What am I doing to help people? If I know a lot about makeup, how can I help people? If I know a lot about fashion and styling, how can I translate that into information and insight that will help other people? And sometimes you might need to study a bit more, study beyond what you know already, read some books, watch some videos, take a short course, but gather insight and information that you can also share that will help people in the long run. Now, a great tip around this is that you can actually Google the first part of a question and see the results that Google actually shares based on what people search the most. So for example, if I wanted to talk about, you know, putting together your wardrobe in easy and convenient ways, I might start to search how to put together a capsule wardrobe, or how do you dress for, and see what questions people ask. Sometimes I do this around maybe food recipes or dinner parties. I might type, how to host a dinner party, and see the rest of the suggestions that Google provides, because those are things that people have searched for around the globe. And then I'm going to make sure that I factor that into my content creation. I use that to guide the videos that I create. Think about it as you are answering questions that people have, and don't wait for people to ask you those questions. Go out there and figure out what questions people are asking. Read up articles, research. Sometimes I will set Google alerts so that I know the key information about the area and the industry I specialize in, so I can create content based on what will help people and what they need, instead of what just tickles my fancy. Okay? Tip number 4 is to remember that it's about pairing the most frequently asked questions with your unique knowledge and approach. So you're not just going to create videos on YouTube that is you regurgitating information that other people have shared. There aren't many completely new ideas, so you will likely share something that somebody else has already shared. But the truth of the matter is there is something unique about you, your experience, your approach, the way you style a table, the way you put together an outfit, the things you consider, maybe your body shape, maybe, you know, you just have a knack for certain things. Consider your unique knowledge, your unique experience, and your unique approach, and think about how to package all of those things together, okay? We're gonna be strategic with it. Tip number 5 is to package things nicely. You've probably heard it over and over again. You need to focus on title and thumbnail. You need to put things together nicely. Like, imagine walking past a store and the windows are dirty and you can't really see what's going on in there, but somehow inside you might see there's some diamond rings, and you're gonna walk past the store, like, unless maybe you are a person that's just ultimately altruistic and you just see the best in everything. But for the most part, you're going to be like, that's probably some fake diamonds. I don't want to go in there. And it could be, you know, diamond rings from Tiffany in there. But if it's not packaged properly, you're going to lose interest. Think about it the same way. To me, packaging, whether it's putting, you know, a plate together nicely, packaging your offering, whatever it is, I always think about it as, you know, if I don't make the effort, it's like me putting a Tiffany's diamond ring in a plastic bag. Like, it just does the product a disservice. So think about title and thumbnail. Research how to do this well. Go online. There are people who share extensively about this. I shared about some of this in my previous video. I will try and put together a tutorial on how I put some of mine together, but play around in Canva. If you need to buy some templates from Etsy, which I also did, I tried that too, then grab that. Use other people's templates that they are selling, because it will just help you be a step ahead and above the rest. If you package things nicely, people will come. That's often how people get scammed in person and online, just by packaging. And I'm not telling you to scam people, but I'm just emphasizing the importance of packaging, okay? But we're not packaging rubbish. Both are important. We're going to have good quality content, good quality information, and we're also going to package it nicely, okay? Tip number 6 is that clear visuals and audio are key. Now, this doesn't mean you need to go out and buy the most expensive gear. Sometimes we are so fixated on what camera are you using, what device are you using, and we think that's going to get us the end results. No, number 1, what you're sharing has to be valuable. But number 2, you just need clear audio and visuals at a basic level. It doesn't need to cost you an arm and a leg. There are people who are making a killing using their iPhones to record. Sometimes I watch videos and I'm so convinced that they're using the best thing, but they're using the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, which sometimes people complain about the visuals, but they've learned about how to make it work. So get something that works for you, get something that's within your budget, your capacity, figure out how to use it well, watch videos, watch tutorials, book a session with someone that is able to walk you through the process of maximizing the equipment that you have, and then make sure that in every single video you upload, the audio and the visuals are clear as possible. It may not be perfect, but do your best. The one thing that I know people will not forgive is bad quality audio. They may not be too bothered about the visuals, like, you know, you're gonna do the best you can, but if the audio sounds bad, I am the same way when it comes to podcasts, when it comes to videos. And of course, are there ways that I can elevate the audio that I have currently? Yes. But done is better than perfect. As long as it's not fuzzy, it's not crackling, you don't sound like they're struggling to hear you. Sometimes I simply will turn off a video if I just can't make out what someone is saying. If the audio is just crackly, it's bad, because I'm not gonna sit and listen to 20 minutes of that, especially because sometimes I'm not actually watching the video. I'm doing work and I'm listening to what they're saying on the video. So great audio is key, but also great visuals are gonna help you just get monetized that much quicker. Tip number 7 is to settle on a pace that's consistent. If it's once a week, do once a week. I would advise at minimum once a week if you're trying to get monetized, but settle on a pace that's consistent. For me, I was trying to accelerate my growth, so I definitely focused on doing 2 videos a week. If that is within your capacity, then do so. But for me, it was important to kind of just make sure, you know, I was thinking it was gonna take me like 5 months based on 2 videos a week, but it was a lot quicker than that. And I think it was a combination of things working together, but I know that it just wasn't sustainable for me in the long run whilst balancing all my other platforms. So I would say figure out a pace that's consistent and stick with it. If it's once a week, stick to once a week. If it's a Tuesday, stick to a Tuesday. I am still working some of those kinks out myself, but I know that is something that definitely makes a difference. Tip number 8, which links nicely into the previous tip, is to ideally work ahead of time. I find it more sustainable when I maybe batch record 2 videos, and especially if they are talking head videos where I'm sitting and talking at the camera, I find that much easier to do than vlogs. But even if I'm sometimes maybe recording B-roll, recording myself doing things and then doing a voiceover on top of that, that's also more manageable than a vlog to me sometimes. So find what works for you, but ideally make sure you have something a week ahead of time, because life can happen sometimes, and when life happens, you might need a backup plan. You might need something that you can just upload quickly, or not feel the pressure to record and edit and produce all in the same week, right? So, you know, settle on a pace that works for you, that will be consistency at your own rhythm, like my leak says, but also make sure that you are ideally a week ahead or 2 weeks ahead if you can afford it. And tip number 9, which I have already mentioned, is start with what's easiest. The easiest way to get monetized by sharing content that's of value, providing insight, providing information, having a pace that's consistent and manageable for you is to start with what works. Like sometimes we're looking at other creators and based on where they are, we want to do what they're doing, but we don't have the capacity, the time, or the skill to execute what they're doing the way they're doing. And some of these people have editors. Like sometimes I'm like, there's no way you're doing this by yourself. You have a team. But if you don't have a team, start with where you are and start with what works. Don't be trying to do just what's beyond your capacity. Start with what is manageable. I promise you, if you combine all of these things, including some of what I've shared in the other video, which you can check out, like, you know, including things like if the video can be 10 minutes, don't make it 20 minutes because you think it's a hack to make it longer. People will switch off, people will not stay watching, and that could in some way eventually affect how often YouTube decides to show your video to other people. All of these tips, I promise you, if you prioritize the audience, prioritize sharing value, it doesn't mean you have to share value sitting down and talking at the camera. You could share value using B-roll. You could share value in whatever way matches your unique approach. Focus on the audience, focus on sharing value, focus on being consistent, focus on good quality audio and visuals, focus on making sure that, you know, you're creating content that people want, even if they don't know they want it yet. Make it interesting, right? If you do all these things, you will get monetized on YouTube quicker than you know. I see so many people in the comments, sometimes in the previous video that I've shared, or even in other people's videos, commenting and saying, oh, well, like, no, it's just, you know, it works for other people, but not for me. The algorithm is against me, da, 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 da. Sometimes it is an uphill climb. Sometimes it is more difficult than people make it out to be. And sometimes your journey is just unique. It might take you a bit longer and you will learn and you will improve as you go. But for the most part, the foundational principles are the same across the board. Serve your audience, do it well, constantly look for ways to improve, create new iterations of what you've done before. If you communicated something and it worked well before, see if you can practice a different way to communicate it whilst delivering the same level, if not more value, and you will just see your channel grow in ways that would blow your mind. But don't center yourself, center the audience, center the viewer, because they are the ones that are gonna select whether they're gonna watch the video or not. And ultimately, people pick based on what is interesting to them or what is of service to them. So I hope that's been helpful. If you have any questions or things you would like to learn more about, please let me know in the comments below. If you're looking for me on Instagram and on the TikTok streets, I am at Marbie's Kitchen. But until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye.